Hello, you guys. It is that time of year. It is that time of the month. It's the first of the month, and we are going to film our December TBR. This TBR is going to be unlike ones from my previous months because I'm not playing a game this month. I just kind of looked through my shelves, thought about the books I want to wrap up the end of the year reading. And so I've picked 5 books again. That felt really successful for the month of November. I read more than 5 books. Actually, I only read 4 from my TBR, and so one of them is rolling over. But I read like 8 or 9 books total for the month of November. So without further ado, we're going to get into this very short TBR, and I'm going to talk about why I've chosen the books that I've chosen. The first book we're going to talk about is Task Force Hammer. It is the 17th, 16th. I don't know. It is the most current Expeditionary Force series book. It is the latest one that's been put out. And so by reading that before the end of the year, I'll be fully ready for when the last book comes out and probably be jonesing for that book. So that is the first book that we are going to put on our December TBR. The second book we're going to put on our TBR for December is a rollover from November. I read all of my November books except for this one because I couldn't get into it. But it is Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles. Now, if you remember from November or you watched that video, this is the last book for me to complete on my 24 and 24 TBR. Don't focus too much on that sticker. Anyhow, this is the last book for me to complete for 24 and 24. I am determined to get this book read. So this one also is going on my December TBR. This next book is a little impulsive, but it is the last book in this series for now, meaning it's the most current book in the series. And that is going to be Hexed by Emily McIntyre. McIntyre, I think is how you say it. I know next to nothing about this book, except I have enjoyed the previous Never After novels. With a caveat. Hooked and Scarred were probably my favorite. And Crossed, I actually didn't really like at all. It was a very weird feeling. But Hexed, it's the chunkiest book of all of them. And look what happened. When we were in Disneyland, my dog got on my bed and I stupidly left a stack of books on my bed. But my dog got on my bed. Look, she got mud on my books. I was really sad about that. Anyhow, just from the cover, I haven't read the back of this at all, and I haven't looked up any information. But just from the cover, I'm really kind of picking up that this is a Little Mermaid, maybe Ursula type retelling. So if you don't know anything about the Never After series, they are basically villain focused. So they are somewhat dark. Definitely, not even somewhat. Definitely read content warnings before jumping into these books. They do have a bit of a twisty weirdness to them. So anyway, this will bring me current in the Never After series. I am interested to get into it. Crossed was the last one I read, and like I said, I didn't like that story in particular just because of the themes that it dealt with. It just it gave me very weird feelings. So my kids are so loud. Anyway, Hexed. This is our third book on the TBR. So you'll probably be picking up a theme in the next little bit because every book on this TBR is a sequel, is continuing a series except for Curious Tides. That's basically starting a series. Anyway, I had to go double check because sometimes my information isn't accurate. Anyway, this next book is the second in the Plated Prisoner series. It is going to be Glint by Raven Kennedy. I enjoyed Guild, right? Yes. I enjoyed that mostly, but I want to give this series like the old college try before I throw in the towel. So depending on how I feel about this book, I'm not as attached to the series as a lot of other people are. But I'm going to go ahead and give this one a shot before I really make a determination on this series. So we're going to go ahead and go with Glint for our fourth book. Last but certainly not least, we are going to continue a series that I started in November. This series has been... I've been dreading starting it because I was concerned I wasn't going to like it, but I can proudly say that I did enjoy the first book. So we're going into the second book in December, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I am reading them in the suggested Sarah J. Maas order, which when Googled, that said Throne of Glass. Yes, sorry, my brain hit Mass and glass rhyme, and so my brain was like, you already said glass. No. Woo. I'm reading them in her suggested order, which is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Assassin's Blade. So some people who have read them in Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, I'm not doing that. I am doing her suggested reading order. So at any rate, second book in the series for me, Crown of Midnight. I do like this series. I think I like where it's going. I believe I like, is it Selena Sargothian? Yeah. I do like her as a main character so far. I imagine this is going to be an incredibly politically charged world building kind of series. Far less romance heavy is what I'm understanding, which I'm all for. I love the ACOTAR series and I loved the Crescent City series. But this seems like it's far more technically written so far. Granted, I'm only one whole book into the series, but I am looking forward to continuing it. I do have my thoughts and feelings on some of the side characters and where I think they may or may not be going. So anyway, all that to say, Crown of Midnight. That is going to be our fifth book in December. So here you have it. A very purple kind of TBR. And also, my other book. But this is going to be our pretty laid back TBR for December. I have 2 weeks off in the month of December for winter break. And so I imagine I'll be able to do a lot of reading. Because we just don't really do a whole lot over winter break except prepare for Christmas. Which, actually, winter break starts right before Christmas this year and goes through the week after. It's very interesting. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Point is, I will have 2 weeks off. So, all that to say, I will probably do some reading, build some Legos, and probably color some pictures on my iPad as I listen to some books. Anyway, there's a lot of weirdly random and useless information. I hope you enjoy the rest of your year, because that's where we're at. This month is the rest of the year. That's crazy. I look forward to talking about some of my reading with you over the coming weeks as I finish up this month and we look at the year, this whole year of vlogging my reading journey. I'll look at the number of books I read, what I've rated, my average rating for those for the year, actually. So we'll do some stats and we'll do some fun things. But for now, have the best rest of your year and a very Merry Christmas.